Hello archaeologists and welcome to another weekly excavation. This time we continue with the updates for project Buried Within Clay. Starting with art, this week Gonzalo worked on the UI. He says, "This week we started planning the UI for our game. I don't have a lot to show because most of it was writing down what menus we needed and how different interactions would happen, as well as defining time for each task, a super important step in production by the way. Anyway, I can show you two small mockups I did while we had our meeting and discussed some stuff, one for the taking photos menu and the other for the notebook menu." Nuno tackled an issue with the displacement effect on our new tileable models. Previously, visible seams would appear at the edges where tiled models met, breaking the visual consistency of surfaces. To solve this, Nuno implemented the vertex group weight system, where weight values are assigned to vertices that control how strongly the displacement effect is applied. A weight of 0 means no displacement is applied. The edge vertices were set to 0 to ensure a clean, seamless transition between tiles. The further from the edges, the more weight that is applied and the more the displacement effect comes through. This displacement approach allows us to keep the rich surface variation without sacrificing tileability. You can see the results applied to the statue walls Nuno previewed last week as well on the new tiled ceiling. Moving on to programming, Diogo continued to work on the NPC system from the last update. He says, "My work this week was very technical, meaning I don't really have any fancy visual stuff to show, so the best I can give you is an inspector screenshot. I finished work on the underlying NPC system, which means we now have everything we need to start putting characters in the game." Similarly, João finished the beam puzzle work from last week. He says, "For a little context, this puzzle revolves around light beams, where you redirect those beams towards certain targets. There were three main components I had to implement. The first one was the beam source. This is what I showed last week, and it's simply an object that shoots out a beam of light. Secondly, I implemented the beam reflector. This is an object that, when hit by a beam, redirects it in a new direction. Finally, the beam reflector needed to be pointable in any desired direction, so it could aim towards our third and final component, the beam target. This object triggers whatever behavior we want as long as it has been hit by a beam." My work for this week involved creating a narrative system package for our game. This system was something I created when doing Persian, and I've been updating it for every project. For this version of the system, it now includes the ability to have voice lines. This makes it so much easier to manage all the voice lines in the game, and it works with branching narrative. End of test. This is still not close to the final version of the system, as I would like to have it be displayed in a visual tree eventually. And who knows, maybe someday make it a plugin for Unity. And that's it for today, archaeologists. Don't forget to like, subscribe and join our Discord to support our studio and our newest project, Buried Within Clay. We couldn't do this without you, and we'll see you next week with the next weekly excavation.